This 1993 Williams has one of the most unusual gearboxes ever in F1. Rather than 8 gears like modern F1 cars, it had an ingenious mechanism that could smoothly change through an infinite number of gear ratios. It promised to make the car easier to drive, more efficient and much faster. It's called Continuously Variable Transmission, a CVT. It's not a new thing, but it was new to something as powerful as a 90s F1 car. A CVT has 4 main benefits in F1. Firstly, you could always be in the sweet spot, the best power that the engine can deliver. So that's all 850 horsepower all of the time. It would also mean that no corners are in between gears. Sometimes when you're racing, especially in a car that only has 4, 5 or 6 gears, some corners would either be too low revving in one gear or too high revving in another. In this case, the engine isn't able to offer the optimum power or torque, and so the driver will lose time. The CVT could also give the perfect amount of power and torque for the amount of grip the car has at any one time. So Williams took their already dominant FW15C and fitted a CVT. Don't forget that this is already one of the most advanced F1 cars ever. It had automatically controlled suspension, advanced traction control and ABS. A young David Coulthard was the test driver that day as the car accelerated at maximum revs, sounding very different to any car you've ever heard. It's so strange to hear an F1 car that's not flying through the rev range and changing gear every few seconds. Sadly, there isn't any reliable lap time comparison to the normal 6-speed car, but it was suspected to be seconds a lap faster than the same car with the regular gearbox. This, if it were correct, is pretty impressive considering this Williams car had no conventional gears. So why did it never race? Sadly, there were a number of reasons. Engines aren't designed to be run at nearly 18,000 RPM for a full F1 race distance. The heat and the wear would be significant and we could expect a lot of failures. And so it proved much more unreliable than a conventional gearbox. So Williams understandably stuck with the 6-speed gearbox, and the CVT test car is sat in the Williams Museum, having only been driven a few times.